Hello, Appleton North freshmen and sophomores, and welcome to this ACT Aspire Testing System Orientation video. As a reminder, the ACT Aspire is a national standardized exam that all of our freshmen and sophomores will take as part of our state's assessment requirements. The ACT Aspire is the precursor to the ACT exam that all students take their junior year, and which serves as a primary entrance exam for most colleges and universities. The ACT Aspire, like the ACT, is made up of 5 parts: English, math, reading, science, and writing. And it will assess your current academic performance in these 5 areas. As you know, we'll be taking the ACT Aspire on Monday, April 11th and Tuesday, April 12th. Pictured on the screen is the testing schedule we'll be following for the Aspire this year. As you can see, we'll be taking the Aspire over 2 days. Day 1 we'll be taking 2 tests. Day 2 we'll be taking 3. Each day following testing we'll run a modified school schedule, running classes in periods 1 through 4 on Monday, and then classes in periods 8, 7, 6, and 5 on Tuesday. As we talked about in homeroom on Monday, March 21st, there's several steps we're going to do to get ourselves ready for the Aspire. Prior to spring break, we introduced the ACT Aspire to everyone in homeroom. Today we're going to be doing an ACT Aspire testing system orientation, give you a chance to try out the testing system on the ACT Aspire testing site. On Friday of this week, we'll be having a mandatory homeroom for all freshmen and sophomores. We'll be going over the final testing directions and procedures. And then next week, Monday and Tuesday, we'll be taking the ACT Aspire on April 11th and 12th. What I'd like to do now is show you what the actual ACT Aspire exam will look like. Specifically, I'll show you the welcome and directions screen, go over the testing tools and features, talk about the types of questions you're going to experience on the Aspire, and then give you an opportunity to get in and actually try a practice test yourself. So let's get into the exam now, and let's start with the welcome and directions screens. So when we actually take the ACT Aspire, you're going to log into the test nav for each of your exams. You're going to be given a testing ticket for each one of the exams that you take. And this is what the login screen is going to look like. When you log into any of the ACT Aspire exams, you're going to get to this welcome screen. On here should show you the ACT Aspire exam that you're about to take, how many sections there may be on the actual test, how many test questions, as well as the time that you'll have to complete the test. For all of the tests, you'll have directions that you're going to want to review prior to starting the exam. That's going to talk to you about specific features of that particular test. So once you've confirmed those things, you're going to click Start. And then again, depending on the test that you're logging into, you're going to get into this screen and then hit Start. Once you get into one of these tests, this is what the screen is going to look like. A couple of things that I want to point out to you. First of all, if you've ever get a question that has text, specifically long text, you're going to notice that there's this navigation bar here that you click and drag, and it'll show you that there's actually more text below than what you see initially. So really important, it's an easy thing that sometimes students miss, is if there's going to be more text here, you'll see this bar just scroll down. Now you'll notice that I logged into the reading exam here. You see a reading here, ACT Aspire. And it's going to show you how many questions there are in this exam. Now, I'm just in a practice test, so there's only 15. When we take the actual reading, there'll be a different number of questions there. But it'll tell you which question of those that you're on. At the top of the screen, you're going to notice some navigation bars, which we're going to go over in a second, as well as a timer. That's going to be how much time you have on that particular test. Again, for me, I'm just in a practice test, so the timings are different. I've skipped ahead to a couple of questions because I wanted to show you some of the tools that you're going to have on all the tests that you're taking. You'll notice here I'm on question 5 of 15. When I'm going to answer a question, let's say that I believe the answer is B, I'm going to click B, the dialog box or the answer, if it's a multiple choice question, and then to get to the next test question, I click Next. That's how you get to the next test question. If at any point you want to go back, you can simply click the back button. It'll take you back to the questions that you've previously answered. You also can click this review button here. This will show you that I've answered questions 1 through 5. I know I've answered them because the green button or the green circle is gone. You also notice here at the bottom that there's 15 questions total, and I haven't answered 10 of them. Obviously, I've done questions 1 through 5. So that's a good way when you're done with all of the questions, you're going to want to make sure that all of these circles are gone because you want to make sure you answer all of the questions on the test. You also have the ability to bookmark a question. Let's say that I'm answering this question and I think it's D, but I'm not 100% sure on it, so I want to click bookmark. Now, if I advance to the next question, I can go and let's say I'm done with the test. I could go back and say, oh, wait, yeah, that's right. I have a couple extra minutes. I'm going to go back to question number 6, and I'm going to verify that I like that answer. It's D. That's good. So that's what that bookmark feature allows you to do. There's also a tool on here is you have your pointer, which is the default one. But let's say I'm answering question number 6 here, and I'm not 100% sure, and I want to use the process of elimination. I can click the answer eliminator, and I can say, well, I know it's not A, and man, I know it's not C. Okay, it's either B or D, and yeah, I think it's D. That's a way you can do that. Obviously, you don't have to use that tool, but some people find that to be a useful tool for process of elimination, getting down to the right answer. That's just a little bit about what it's going to look like when you log in, and then some of the testing tools or features that you're going to see on the various exams. I want to show you one more testing tool that you're going to find specifically in the math test only. So I'm logged into the math test. ACT Aspire does allow you to bring in your own scientific calculator for the exam, so you certainly can do that. But also wanted to show you that on the math test, there is an extra tool that's added, the scientific calculator. If you click that button, it'll pull up a calculator here that's got all of the scientific functions that you'd need if you didn't have your own calculator. So that's just an option there. This functions just like a normal calculator that you can use, and at any point you can minimize it. So that's a built-in feature test tool specifically for the math test. The next thing we want to do is just walk you through some of the different types of test questions that you're going to experience when taking the Aspire. First type of test question you'll encounter on the Aspire is the multiple choice question, and is the most common type of question form you'll see. So again, back here in the test side, multiple choice questions, simple to answer. They're going to give you the question prompt here. To answer the question, you can either click in the dialog box specifically, or you can click on the actual answer itself. If you'd like to change your answer, you simply just click on a different one, and that'll answer the different one. So that's how you answer multiple choice questions. Second type of question is fill in the blank. And back inside of the test navigation, the fill in the blank questions, pretty straightforward. Again, it's saying there's a highlighted part of the text, and they'd like to see me select the best word for the complete the sentence. So here's my fill in the blank. I click that dialog box. I pick the word that I think best fits the sentence, and I click it there, and I'm clicking the next questions. Again, if you'd like to change that answer, you can go back, click a different word, and then move on to the next one. So that's a fill in the blank. Drag and drop questions are the third question form that you will see. Again, back in the test nav, drag and drop can look like this. It's similar to like a fill in the blank, but here I've got 3 options that they want me to put into the sentence. So you simply just click on it, drag it into the blanks that you believe that it fits. If you ever want to change something, you can simply move it back up, move this one over, and go into the other box. That's one version of the drag and drop. Another type of drag and drop question here is on the science test. It's asking me to rate or order the types of liquids here with viscosity. So again, like the drag and drop, a little different here is I'm going to click and move them up into the order that I think they're going to go. And then I can change again. If I think this is going to go here instead, I can move that over. So drag and drop question, pretty straightforward, but a different test question you might experience. Final type of the drag and drop feature question that you might also experience is here. It's a table. It's asking you to indicate information here on this bar graph. So a different type of drag and drop is you're going to simply click here and then drag up as far as that you believe it needs to go. Again, all of these questions you can be using your trackpad on your Chromebook. Students, you are allowed to bring in with you a wireless or wired USB mouse if you'd prefer to use that than the trackpad on your Chromebook. We will not be providing those for you, but if you do use one or want to use one on the ACT Aspire, you certainly can do that as well. The fifth question style is a short answer question. Short answer questions are going to be on all of the different ACT Aspire tests. This particular one is on the math test. So again, it's got a problem here that it's presenting with you, and it says in here to explain why the student is not correct with their answer. So to do a short answer, you just simply click into the dialog box here. You notice it's got a 1,200 word limit. So enough to clearly answer the question, but what you need to do is make sure when you're looking at these short answers that you're actually answering the question that they're asking you. So in here, you've got to explain why the student is not correct. So that's a short answer question that you may see on the Aspire. Here again is another variation of the short answer. So it's got a question based on students one's viewpoint, and they basically have two prompts, two questions that you need to answer in the short answer. Again, you're going to click here, type in your answer there for the short answer question. Then finally, the final test question style is an essay question, which we will take when we take the writing exam on Tuesday, April 12th. I've logged into the writing exam on the test nav, and you'll notice that there is a 1 of 1. It'll be a 1 question writing prompt. The writing prompt is here, and it's got its 10,000 character limit. So obviously this is an essay. We would highly suggest that you take a little time to plan your essay before starting typing into the dialog box. You can use your testing tickets that you're going to be given as a way to organize, maybe make a quick outline as to what you want to do and how you want to answer the question, because you're going to want to make sure your answer is organized when typing it in here. But again, you're going to just type into that dialog box, and then when you're done with that prompt, you're going to that next button, and you're going to get to the submit final answer one. This screen is what it's going to look like whenever you got to the end of any one of your exams. Obviously, this one only has one question, but otherwise it's going to tell you right here when you think you're done how many you haven't answered. So if this is a test question where there's multiple questions and you see any of these are unanswered and you still have time, really important to go back and try to answer those questions. Again, in this case, it's just 1 of 1. And when I feel like I'm done, I'm going to hit that submit final answer button. Finally, in homeroom today, we want to make sure everyone has a chance to get into the test navigation system and try this out. So I'm going to take you to tn.actaspire.org, and we're going to use that to log into one of these exams. When we get there, you're going to have the options to try any one of the any one of the 5 ACT Aspire exams. With all of them, you're going to type in whatever exam you want to try. Let's say it's math. The username is going to be math and then capital EHS, which stands for early high school for all of them. And then the password for all of them is going to be ACT Aspire for every one of these 5 practice exams that you're going to try. So let's get into the testing site and give it a shot, and then let you have some chances to try it yourself. All right, so to log in here, just go to your browser, type tn.actaspire.org. You go to tn.actaspire.org, it's going to take you to this screen. Again, this is the same screen you're going to see when you actually take the test. We're going to provide you the username and password for those exams. For today, we're going to try any one of these. So again, if I'm going to try the math, I'm going to type in math, capital EHS, and then again, the password is ACT Aspire. You can type it in right, ACT Aspire, and then sign in. Again, it's going to take me to the welcome screen that I showed you before. You'll see that I'm into the math test, the test directions. I hit start, and it's going to start me with that first test question. So again, at this time, what we're asking all homerooms to do is have students log into the test nav and try out the different exams. Students use this time to use the different testing tools, experience the different types of testing questions. You can also take this as an opportunity to get a feel for how hard the questions may be, as well as pacing for that when you actually take the exam. So use the remaining of the hour in our homerooms to try out the testing nav. And then again on Friday of this week, we'll be back in homerooms where we'll go over final testing details. Thanks, everybody.